The Stoic art of becoming unbothered by anyone's drama. Stoicism. Have you ever noticed how some people seem to float through life completely unaffected by the chaos around them? They watch drama unfold like distant thunder, never letting the storm reach their inner peace. Meanwhile, others find themselves constantly pulled into emotional whirlwinds, their energy drained by every petty conflict and dramatic outburst. What if I told you that this ability to remain unbothered isn't a mysterious gift reserved for a chosen few, but a skill that can be learned and mastered? Today, we'll explore the ancient wisdom of the Stoics and discover how to develop an unshakable inner fortress that no amount of drama can penetrate. The Stoics understood something profound. We cannot control what happens around us, but we can absolutely control how we respond to it. This isn't about becoming cold or indifferent. It's about developing such a strong sense of self that external chaos becomes irrelevant. To your inner state, let me share with you 8 powerful Stoic principles that will transform you from someone who gets pulled into every drama into someone who remains calm, centered, and completely unbothered by the emotional storms of others. Principle 1. Recognize that drama is not your emergency. Picture this. Your co-worker storms into the office, face red with anger, ready to dump their relationship problems on anyone who will listen. Your neighbor calls at 11 p.m. to vent about their family drama. Your friend sends you 17 text messages about their latest crisis. Here's what the Stoics understood that most people don't. Other people's emergencies are not automatically your emergencies. Just because someone is having a meltdown doesn't mean you need to catch their emotional fever. Marcus Aurelius wrote in his Meditations, "How much trouble he avoids who does not look to see what his neighbor says or does." This isn't about being heartless. It's about understanding that you cannot save everyone, and trying to do so will only drain your energy and disturb your peace. When someone approaches you with their drama, ask yourself, is this something I can actually help with? Or is this person just looking for someone to absorb their negative energy? Most of the time, people don't want solutions. They want an audience for their suffering. The unbothered person listens with compassion, but doesn't absorb the emotional charge. They offer support without becoming emotionally invested in outcomes they cannot control. Principle 2. Practice the art of emotional detachment. Emotional detachment doesn't mean becoming a robot. It means developing the ability to observe emotions, both your own and others, without being controlled by them. Think of yourself as a mountain watching clouds pass by. The clouds come and go, but the mountain remains unmoved. Epictetus taught that we suffer not from events themselves, but from our judgments about those events. When someone brings drama into your space, you have a choice. Will you judge this situation as something that must disturb your peace, or will you see it as simply another cloud passing by? Here's a practical exercise. When you feel yourself getting pulled into someone else's drama, take 3 deep breaths and ask yourself, what would a completely detached observer see in this situation? This simple shift in perspective can instantly restore your emotional equilibrium. The master of Stoic. Detachment doesn't get excited by good news or devastated by bad news. They remain steady, like a lighthouse in a storm, providing guidance without being shaken by the waves crashing around them. Principle 3. Set invisible boundaries. Boundaries are not walls built to keep people out. They're guidelines that protect your energy and maintain your inner peace. The unbothered person has invisible boundaries that are so strong they rarely need to be enforced. These boundaries exist in your mind. First, you decide what you will and will not absorb from others. You choose which conversations deserve your emotional investment and which ones you'll observe from a safe distance. Seneca wrote, "Every new thing excites the mind, but a mind that seeks the truth turns from the new and unproven to the eternal and proven." Apply this wisdom to social interactions. Not every piece of gossip, every complaint, or every dramatic story deserves space in your consciousness. Practice saying phrases like, That sounds difficult for you. I can see why you're upset, or I hope things work out. These responses show empathy without inviting drama into your personal space. The key is consistency. When people realize that you don't feed off drama, they'll stop bringing it to you. You become known as someone who radiates calm rather than someone who amplifies chaos. Principle 4. Master the power of silence. Silence is one of the most powerful tools in the Stoic arsenal. When faced with drama, your first instinct might be to offer advice, take sides, or ask probing questions. But often, the wisest response is no response at all. Marcus Aurelius reminds us, remember that very little disturbs the wise person. Like the rocky headland on which the waves constantly break, it stands firm, and round it the seething waters are laid to rest. Silence serves multiple purposes. First, it prevents you from being pulled into the drama. Second, it often makes the dramatic person realize how their behavior sounds when it's not being fed by reactions. Third, it preserves your energy for things that actually matter. This doesn't mean being rude or dismissive. Strategic silence can be accompanied by a calm presence, a neutral expression, and patient listening. You're not ignoring the person, you're simply not adding fuel to their fire. When you master the art of strategic silence, you discover that most drama dies out on its own when it's not given the attention it's seeking. Principle 5. Focus on your circle of control. The Stoics taught a fundamental truth that can instantly transform your relationship with drama. There are only 3 things you can control: your thoughts, your actions, and your responses to external events. Everything else falls outside your circle of control. Drama thrives when people try to control things beyond their influence. Other people's choices, opinions, reactions, and decisions. The moment you accept that you cannot control these things, drama loses its power over you. Epictetus said, "Some things are within our power, while others are not." This simple statement contains the key to unshakable peace. When someone brings you their drama, immediately categorize it. Is this within my control or outside of it? If it's outside your control, you can listen with compassion, but you don't need to carry the emotional weight. If someone's marriage is falling apart, that's outside your control. If someone is angry at you for something you didn't do, their anger is outside your control. Focus your energy exclusively on your circle of control. This might mean choosing how to respond, deciding whether to engage, or determining what boundaries to set. When you operate only within your circle of control, you become truly unbothered because you're not wasting energy on things you cannot influence. Principle 6. Develop emotional immunity. Just as you can build physical immunity to diseases, you can build emotional immunity to drama. This immunity comes from repeated exposure to difficult situations while maintaining your inner equilibrium. Every time you successfully remain calm in the face of someone else's emotional storm, you're strengthening your emotional immune system. Every time you choose not to take someone's anger personally, you're building resilience. Every time you respond with wisdom instead of reacting with emotion, you're becoming more unbothered. The Stoics called this process negative visualization. Imagining difficult scenarios and mentally rehearsing your ideal response. Spend a few minutes each day visualizing yourself remaining completely calm while surrounded by drama. See yourself as the eye of the hurricane, perfectly still while chaos swirls around you. This mental rehearsal prepares you for real situations. When drama inevitably appears in your life, you'll have already practiced your response thousands of times in your mind. Principle 7. Understand the drama triangle. Most interpersonal drama follows a predictable pattern called the drama triangle. There are 3 roles: the victim, poor me; the persecutor, it's all your fault; and the rescuer, let me help you. People unconsciously rotate between these roles, and drama is sustained as long as someone is willing to play. The unbothered person recognizes this triangle and refuses to enter it. They don't try to rescue victims, they don't engage with persecutors, and they don't play victim themselves. They observe the triangle from the outside with compassionate detachment. When someone tries to cast you in one of these roles, you can politely decline the invitation. If someone wants you to rescue them, you can show empathy without taking responsibility for their problems. If someone tries to make you a victim, you can acknowledge their perspective without accepting their narrative. If someone wants you to join them in persecuting someone else, you can change the subject or remove yourself from the conversation. By staying out of the drama triangle, you remain free from the exhausting cycle of conflict that traps so many people. Principle 8. Cultivate inner richness. The final principle is perhaps the most important. Cultivate such a rich inner life that external drama becomes irrelevant by comparison. When you're deeply connected to your own purpose, values, and inner peace, other people's chaos feels like distant background noise. Seneca wrote, "Every new thing excites the mind, but a mind that seeks the truth turns from the new and unproven to the eternal and proven." Focus on eternal truths rather than temporary dramas. Invest your time in learning, growing, creating, and connecting with what truly matters. Develop interests and passions that fill your mind and heart. Read philosophy, practice meditation, pursue hobbies, build meaningful relationships, work toward important goals. When your inner world is rich and fulfilling, you won't need the artificial stimulation that drama provides. The unbothered person has so much going on internally that they don't have room for other people's chaos. They're too busy living their own meaningful life to get caught up in the meaningless conflicts of others. The path forward, becoming unbothered by drama, is not about becoming indifferent to others' suffering. It's about developing the wisdom to distinguish between what deserves your emotional investment and what doesn't. It's about building such a strong inner foundation that external chaos cannot shake you. This transformation doesn't happen overnight. It requires consistent practice and patience with yourself as you learn new ways of responding to old triggers. There will be times when you get pulled back into drama despite your best efforts. This is normal and part of the learning process. The goal is not perfection, but progress. Each time you choose calm over chaos, detachment over drama, and wisdom over worry, you're building the unshakable inner strength that the Stoics so highly valued. Start today with small steps. The next time someone brings drama into your space, take a deep breath and remember, this is not your emergency. Their emotional storm does not need to become your inner weather. You can remain the calm, centered, unbothered person you choose to be. As Marcus Aurelius wisely observed, how much trouble he avoids who does not look to see what his neighbor says or does, but only to what he does himself. Focus on your own actions, your own responses, your own growth. Let others handle their own storms while you maintain your own inner peace. This is the Stoic path to becoming completely unbothered by anyone's drama. Not through hardness or indifference, but through the cultivation of unshakable inner strength and wisdom. The choice, as always, is yours. Remember, you are not responsible for managing other people's emotions, solving their problems, or absorbing their negative energy. You are responsible for maintaining your own peace, living according to your values, and responding to life with wisdom and grace. This is how the Stoics lived, and this is how you can live too. Unbothered, unshaken, and uncompromisingly committed to your own inner peace, regardless of the drama swirling around you. The ancient wisdom is clear. You cannot control the wind, but you can adjust your sails. You cannot stop other people's storms, but you can remain the calm center of your own life. This is the art of becoming truly unbothered, not by avoiding life's challenges, but by developing the inner strength to meet them with unshakable equanimity. Your journey to becoming unbothered starts now. Will you choose to remain the victim of other people's drama? Or will you become the master of your own emotional destiny? The Stoics knew the answer, and deep down, so do you. The power to remain unbothered has been within you all along. It's time to claim it.